Hi, we're the Death Hilarious, and unfortunately, we're the last of the good guys. Okay. How should we start this one?
How should we start episode 3?
Yeah. Should we do we could do like a series of stills, at the beginning of a cop show? And I can edit it and freeze frame it and put over, so we'll do that.
That's enough for you to work with.
Yeah, so you can sort it out.
Yeah, sort that out.
So you're not well?
Nope, I've got a cold. But because there's about 4 people who want to see this, I feel like...
Soldier on through.
I'd soldier on through.
Yeah, and you're very brave to do so, actually.
Very brave, as a matter of fact.
I think your mother, my mother, and one of our fathers will really appreciate that. And we know whose father it is as well. Describe to the viewer at home what you're going through right now.
Well, I haven't had an official diagnosis yet, but I've done the inevitable Googling, and I understand that I have what is called a common cold, which is not life-threatening, I'm glad to say. In fact, in almost 100% of cases, you get over it.
How does it affect you if you're just very ungrateful for the things people have done for you?
I don't know. But if
this is what I'm worried about, you see.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, I don't know, because if it feasts on excellent personality flaws, which is always possible,
it's true. It can amplify them and make you might become, within the next 24 hours, you might become insufferable.
I think so. It could be really bad.
Yeah,
especially if it I don't know, sort of megaphoned my self-pity. That would be dreadful. I do have a fucking cold, which is irritating, but not the worst.
It is very irritating. I had COVID recently, so a little bit worse than you. But it was that was horrific. Well, we got COVID.
We both got COVID
a year ago,
and were super spreaders at a Bristol gig.
You were like, you described what you were having. Food slid under the door to you, like Bobby Sands. He would have had it slid, but he would have refused it.
Who?
Bobby Sands.
Oh, Bobby Sands, yeah. Well, I did rub shit all over the walls.
That's true. That was before the COVID.
I was ruthlessly tortured by police officers, so I do have something in common with him. My wife was trying her level best not to get it. More so than me, because she's not been well the past few years, so she was really...
She left you for 6 months, didn't she? In an attempt to be like, I'm just trying to get away from the illness.
She was trying to use COVID. She cheated on me with COVID, basically. COVID was this invisible
lovely
bloke.
Lovely Irish lad.
COVID-19.
COVID-19. He's quite a young boy.
I lost my taste as well. Did you lose your taste?
No. I mean, look at my DVD collection. You'll still find it's top-notch.
So, we're not saying we're heroes, but other people died, and we didn't. So... Oh, I tell you something I did want to bring up regarding illness, because my brother and I were talking about it recently, and my wife and her sister were talking about it recently, is the concept of the sick bowl.
The sick bowl?
Yes.
Oh, as in...
Do you have a sick bowl?
Yes, we used to have a sick bowl.
Was it also used for cooking? Because in my house it was and still is the same bloody bowl from the early 90s. It's this plastic blue bowl.
Well, for me what happened was we'd use it for sick and then the cooking would happen straight after. We were a very poor family. So we had a sick bucket. We also had wee buckets.
Wee buckets?
Wee buckets. And that's not the French for the yes. It was, my mother shouldn't have said yes when it came to the wee buckets, but they were 2 beach buckets with like cartoon crabs and
real crabs that fall off your mother's bush as well. Which is prison in it.
I walked straight into that one. I knew as soon as I said
it. I'm ashamed that I went there.
Your rapier quick mind.
I felt like when I sort of aimed that shot, I was like, oh, this is not sport.
And me and my brother had these buckets because we were simply, I can't work out if it was fear or laziness, or could be a little from column A, a little from column B.
So they were bedpans to all intents and purposes.
Pretty much. We had these buckets
and
next
this
to
was
us,
in
and I used to...
2000 and... Well, generally, when were they last used?
It was not in the 2000s, okay? It was pre-millennium, okay?
Oh, pre-millennium. So 1999 then.
Yeah.
So you were over 10.
I was 14 at the time.
Fuck.
Old enough to know about it. Were you ever sick into it? Do you ever remember being sick into one of them? Because I don't remember. I remember it was very much like a kind of safety blanket.
Oh my god, no, I remember.
Really? You remember spewing into one?
Really. And then I spoke to my mother about it recently, and I said, "Do you still have it?" And she WhatsApped me back and said, "Yes, lol, Dad made fish cakes in it last week. Kiss, kiss." It's a mixing bowl. It's like a light baby blue plastic, indestructible bloody thing.
Wow.
Clearly, it's been there for. I think it's been there since I've been alive. So it was at least 34.
Yeah, and your dad still makes fish cakes in it.
Fish cakes. My mother used to make.
People come around. Strange taste of this, Tony. What do you put in them?
I know. Yeah.
That's so delicious.
My mother puts when she makes cakes or whatever. Like she still uses that bowl as well because it's the mixing bowl. So very tangy mince pies, Linda.
What I will say is this: if you are struggling,
I was a chubby kid as well. So when I spewed, it was Asda pizza and a bit of some crisps.
And some leftover McDonald's for that when all the kids went to play with Ronald McDonald. This is a true story. Unfortunately, one of my favourite Glenn stories, young fat Glenn stories.
I think retroactive fat shaming is pretty disgusting. But I'm happy to fat shame myself, so I'm sure I'm allowed to. My body, my choice. No, it was in Burger King, and I was a overweight child.
Yeah, same here.
Not sort of cartoonishly fat, but fatter than anyone else probably in my year.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old I was. I must have been about 8 or 9. And there was a Burger King restaurant in Union Street in Swansea, and you used to have to go downstairs. That's where they always held the parties, because a lot of kids my age used to have a Burger King party, and the mascot was a guy called Whiz Kid. Do you remember?
Whiz Kid? No, I remember.
I think it was called Whiz Kid, and there was there was a gang. They were called the Cool Gang or something, and it was sort of like a rainbow coalition of like a politically correct friendship group before it was a thing.
Oh right, okay.
So there was a Chinese, Japanese kid with a camera. There was a black kid. There was a kid in a wheelchair.
Really?
There was a
wow.
woman. Yeah, it was quite progressive.
Burger King was very forward thinking when it came to
inevitably.
kind of identity politics.
Yeah, and the Whiz Kid. I mean,
who did Whiz Kid represent? Was he the kid that was addicted to cocaine?
No,
drug addict children.
The thing is, inevitably, Whiz Kid. He was in charge, and he was fooling nobody. He was baseball cap, sunglasses, high tops, attitude. Ethnically straight out of the Hitler Youth.
Okay.
So anyway, the kid, we all had cheeseburger and chips or whatever at this Burger King party, and then the thing was that I think you had a game of Pass the Parcel or something. Go on.
That's where Glenn saw the window of opportunity.
Yeah, so they'll go with a guy who's dressed up as Whiz Kid, comes out in the big costume like Ronald McDonald or Mr. Wimpy used to come out if you used to go to those restaurants and play with the kids, and they'd sing the Hokey Cokey, they do that dance.
Yeah.
And there'd be all sorts of whatever. And my mother turned around and she saw that I was not.
I love that your mother's just there going, knees bent, arms stretched, rah rah. Glenn?
Yeah.
My son's gone missing, and then only afterwards she wished that you hadn't gone missing, because the shame of where you really were was probably.
I generally think my mother at this moment, if judging by her reaction, she would have rather that I'd wandered out into the street and a paedophile council litter picker had taken me away. Because
at least that would have afforded her some dignity.
Yeah, there would have been honour
later on. Yeah,
I couldn't help that. These monsters are everywhere. But in fact, this little monster was actually eating everyone else's leftover burger and chips like a seagull, like a fat seagull.
Oh no!
And my mother, God bless her heart, who frequently operates on emotion. Don't do it again.
Pulled your trousers down and smacked you in front of all the other kids.
Well, that would have made more sense.
Enhanced the trauma.
She just burst into tears and dragged me out to there, upstairs.
Wow.
Just blubbering in the car home about how embarrassed she was and everything. I was like.
With reference to this just came into my mind now. With reference to being overweight, because we're both overweight.
Yeah, we really were, and it has affected us.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Definitely got some sort of undiagnosed body dysmorphia.
Yeah, like I hate the fact now that, like, for ages I was doing better fitness-wise than Darren was, and now he's completely come up on the outside and eclipsed me.
Yeah,
and now I'm the one who, like, has to have an asthma pump, when I have a cappuccino, and he's there eating his,
eating like a kale smoothie or something,
like kale
or just
smoothie
boiled rice and leaves. That's
right,
what I'm on at the moment. I mean, it's not a happy existence.
No.
But I look slightly better in a shirt now.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, absolutely.
But what I will say is this, what reminded me of this, and did you get pubes early? Because I did, and the doctor told me that's the reason why.
What, because you were overweight?
Because I was like, yeah, because it's like my brain thought I was developing really quickly, so my brain was like, quick, let's get the pubes started now. Because this is an adult man. This is the body of an adult man. So the brain apparently the doctor is like the hormones sort of kick in early because your body is larger than it should be.
Was this doctor wasn't a man at a bus stop, was he?
Well, he had an apron on.
Please, son.
He was wearing an apron. It was covered in blood, and he was in a field.
All right.
So I thought, he said he was a field doctor. So yeah, that was one of the many perils and traumas of being overweight. But hey, if we hadn't been overweight, probably wouldn't be here right now. So
no, absolutely.
You're welcome, guys.
No.
Right, so
yeah, on the subject of eating,
yes, we've had an obsession with this sort of thing for quite some time. I can't really remember where we first stumbled across it.
I think it's because we like to consider ourselves we are comedy fans.
Yes,
that's a fact.
Yes,
whether we in any way could be called comedy experts is probably just a nonsense term and debatable. But we do like comedy a lot. We do kind of know a lot about comedy.
Yes, and we've also we kind of have gone way back into comedy, so we're big fans of Peter Cook and Dudley Moore.
Yep.
Beyond the Fringe.
Blackadder the Third was our big one that we bonded
over. That brought us together. But also, more mainstream stuff. I'm not going to be one of those a comedy snob. I really like Peter Kay. I grew up watching Peter Kay, and I also grew up watching Only Fools and Horses. Yeah,
no, this is the thing. Now, Only Fools and Horses is... I wouldn't even say it's not even overrated. It's just... it's gone on about a bit too much by certain people. Like, I remember, I told you once about someone I was in the pub with years ago, and we were talking about comedy, and, inevitably someone's like, oh, you do comedy? And I was like, yeah, blah, 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 what do you like? And somebody said Only Fools and Horses, and I said, ugh. So I think Only Fools and Horses is a little bit overrated.
Yeah, not by much, but it is.
Yeah, but it's just because of the hysteria around it.
Yes.
And as if to prove my point, one of the guys we were with, who was like a friend of a friend in university, he slammed his pint down on the table, and threw I'm sure he was crying, but he was definitely dribbling beer out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Spluttering, David Jason's a national treasure.
So I remember once going on holiday, and the catchphrase used by all the reps, who were all Spanish, because we were in Magaluf at the time, all in Spanish, and everybody said in the hotel, lovely jubbly, all the time. So everything on stage is like, hey guys, you want to see it? And they did this weird puppet show involving fluorescent Simpsons characters, but they all spoke in Spanish. I didn't understand what was going on there. But at the end of they go, you want to see some more guys?
You want to eat short?
You want cow my bunga.
Cow my bunga.
Cow my bunga, bro. Lovely, and they would always say, lovely jubbly.
Do not keep a cow.
We found out about Only Fools and Three Courses.
We did.
Which is the Only Fools themed dining experience. So this
is completely unsanctioned by the estate of John Sullivan.
Absolutely.
I think there is actually. Maybe after this we could look up. There was in the news recently that they sued them.
Really?
Yes.
Because I know the I guess it would be John Cleese.
Father Ted. Because there's a Father Ted one, and there's a.
They definitely sued the Fawlty Towers dining experience.
Yeah.
Which makes more sense.
Fawlty Towers there's a restaurant.
Yes,
that makes sense. It's like when people have, I know they do. There's actually a restaurant in Ireland, and I would actually like to go to this. I mean, admittedly, it's not themed because it would be in very bad taste.
Yeah.
But it's a hotel, and it's a genuinely amazing restaurant with a proper Michelin star. I don't know if they're Michelin star, but they are that sort of level chefs.
Right.
And you can have the last first class meal that was on the Titanic.
And do they have like a hydraulic thing under the room to lift it up to one side so all the furniture goes sliding to one end
Yes,
of the room?
and then halfway through, they beat loads of third class passengers back with a tiller.
That's good. It's quite authentic.
Towards the end
quite
of the
immersive.
night, they send some rockets up, the lights go out, and the first officer shoots himself. So.
It's authentic, if nothing else.
Very
do you know what I
authentic.
mean? You want to go to a restaurant,
Yes,
okay?
I do.
Your main purpose of going to a restaurant
Just have
is
something
what?
to eat.
It's just to have something to eat.
Yeah.
Some good quality food.
Who'd have thought so?
Atmosphere. What do you think for atmosphere?
In a restaurant?
Quiet music in the background.
Background music, bit of ambience.
Ambience. And then, friends and family to converse with.
I think so, yeah.
Have a good time, jokes and laughter.
Will I get this with only fools and three courses?
No. Well, you'll get none of that. You won't really be able to enjoy the food. You won't be allowed to talk to your friends and family because you'll all be forced to look at badly reenacted scenes from Only Fools and Horses. Okay, yeah, so we're going to watch some of these Only Fools and Three Courses dining experience promo videos and dissect them in a humorous way. So this is the Jury's Inn, Brighton. Right, so
Each table is named for a character.
after a character, yeah. Do you reckon there's like a mad fight at the beginning to get on to Del Boy's table? I'm a bit like Del Boy, I'm a character.
I'm a character. Some woman goes...
I hit me wife as well. He never hit his wife.
Some woman's going... I had a miscarriage, I'll sit at the Cassandra table.
So there's, I assume that's Boise, the guy with the tash. I assume she's Marlene.
Looks like Lord Lucan.
It looks like Jacob Rees-Mogg. And that is... Yeah, let's talk about the type of people we imagine go to this sort of thing.
It's like a religion almost. It's weird.
It's very cult-like.
It's... But like you say, it's like for people who probably don't really watch a great deal of other comedy.
Yeah.
And
A lot of people, I imagine, booking 2 tickets, one for themselves and one for their oxygen tanks. Alright, okay, let's play, right? So we're like a couple, okay?
Cool.
And I've bought you tickets, 34s and 3 courses dining experience. You've beat me to the face already, so I have to do a different one.
Owen. It's your birthday next week.
Oh, no, I don't know fuss.
No, I know you usually don't like fuss, but what's your favourite programme?
The Chase.
No, another one.
On Tipping Point.
No, your third favourite.
Oh,
What's the one you used to watch with your daddy?
Del Boy.
No, it's not called that. It's called, Only Fools and Horses, yeah, right? You know you like that programme,
Yeah.
right? Now, you know you don't like, you don't like going out and eating and trying to make conversation with me.
Oh, no.
You know you get fed up halfway through speaking.
I just can't be...
Yeah, well, you don't have to worry, because I got us tickets to see something for your birthday.
Oh, yeah? What is it? One of the pictures or something, is it?
No, better than that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some lovely food, but don't worry, you're not gonna have to talk to no one, because we can get to watch your favourite programme, except done by other people.
God.
Done badly by other people.
Oh, sounds great. I hope it's not too far away.
No, don't worry. We'll make sure you take your sticks out with you just in case you get another one of your mystery attacks.
There's a Karl Marx there dancing with a lovely young lady. People giving testimonies but not being allowed to speak, so maybe they thought it was awful.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
They stole my wallet. I had racist comments made about me.
the Boise touched me on the arse.
Yeah. I don't want to sound, this is like an easy thing to say, but these audience members are just...
Didn't do their GCSEs.
Well, it's not even that so much, it's just this pure Brexit. Like, I think you would struggle to find someone who didn't vote for Brexit in this.
For sure. Oh God, look at all these ones.
Adams, absolutely fabulous.
Let's go back. England.
Can we have a look at the Hello Hello one?
This comedy tribute show begins with a drinks reception. This comedy tribute show begins with a drinks reception.
Right, it really feels like they've abandoned the theme almost immediately. It's like, right, you've got a bloke who's got a moustache who will bother you while you're eating your food.
Yeah, it's like, you will be interrupted. Not entertained, you will be interrupted.
You'll be interrupted occasionally by a man holding a baguette.
Yes. Can we just appreciate the DJ? Did you see the DJ?
No.
Put up with his enthusiastic wife-eating.
Oh, wow.
That's not even a character.
Yeah, so it's a French guy with onions round his neck.
They just got like a DJ that's come with him. They're like, Michael, can you just shove my grandmother's hat on and these plastic garlic bulbs? He's like, do you want to do Northern Soul Disco? And they're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we'll do it after. Look,
do it. Stop talking about it. You'll go get paid. We'll pay for last time as well. All right. What on is John Cooper Clarke doing in this?
Don't you remember Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen was a big character in the Lower
He
Line?
was. Sorry, yeah, it's not
Sort of drunken, drug-addled Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen. Very well placed.
very well played.
Very well placed. The wife was near the exit so that she could quickly leave if she had one of her panic attacks. That was very considerate of the staff.
This was only put up 4 years ago. Why is everyone dressed like it's 2003?
Well,
Is it just the type of people who go there?
Yeah, I mean, they shop at Burton's, Primark. Occasionally, if they want to treat themselves, Marks and Spencer's. What kind of dining experiences would you like to see?
What about the Fred and Rose West dining experience?
Oh, that would be good.
That would be great.
And that
Like
the subtitle
Fred's
would be
coming in and she's
tears.
like, "Where the fuck have you been to?" And he's like, "You've been out in the garden," and everyone's like, "Ooh, what he's been up to."
Yeah. And they drag a bin bag in.
Yeah,
So give me a fucking hand with this, Rose.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking hand with this. It'll have to turn to tears. It was. What did I say, ladies and gentlemen? It will have to turn to tears.
That's right. That's right. And then he's just like halfway through, he's like serving somebody their soup and their bread roll, and he goes, "Heather is at this moment alive and well in Bahrain and is working as part of a drug cartel."
And everyone just go.
It was like she's not. She's in the fucking garden.
His last job, he kept the bones. He kept the bones.
All her fingernails were next to her body because they think they tortured her before they killed her own daughter.
Look, Rose is wearing a door's belt. She's wearing a door's belt.
Yeah, I know. And then like another person comes in as one of the mothers looking for one of the women. No, that's true. That's sad. Actually, it's not funny.
You could go to America and do the Jeffrey Dahmer dining experience.
Now,
that involves
creativity.
Meat
yeah, it does.
and food. That's actually the perfect dining experience. I think it's a perfect merger of entertainment and interesting
in
cuisine.
America as well. There's some law you can quote. The Albert Fish dining experience.
The Albert Fish dining experience, yeah. You could have,
Child's
gristle of
roasted
child
lamb.
with side of peewees.
Yeah, peewees. Monkey, sweet as nut.
Yeah. It's a very niche Albert Fish reference.
Yeah.
Then, if you want to know what we're talking about, why don't you pop onto the old Albert Fish Wikipedia page and read the letter he wrote to the grieving mother of one of his victims. It will keep you up for days.
Yeah, don't expect to sleep because you will not.
No. I think our friend Charlie said that you have to. When you sort of become a name in comedy, you have to have like a silhouette.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the idea of if you just had a shadow, that should be recognisable. But also, I think attendant to that is also you have to have just things like verbal tics or gimmicks or behavioural kind of accoutrements that people can go, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
That's that guy. And I think one of them is these really over-the-top laughs.
Yeah.
And also accents.
It's more noticeable coming from Wales.
Yes.
And it's a little bit rich to an extent because I grew up with a very strong Swansea accent, which doesn't really sound like this. But for various reasons of being influenced by loads of like documentaries and stuff I used to watch.
Because he had a lot of burgers,
films.
he had a stroke when he was 12. And changed his personality.
Yeah, I woke up. It's like that disease where you fall off a ladder and you wake up speaking French. You know, it's like
that's what
it's
happened.
like that. No, but I consciously sort of soften my voice, and there are there are bits of sort of general Welsh accent in there.
Yeah. For me, I'm the same. To English people, I sound Welsh. They're like, you're definitely Welsh. But Welsh people, I've had Welsh people ask me where I'm from. And,
people
they
can't
don't
really
know.
pin where I'm from. No.
But the cardinal sin for me is, and when we can spot it, because these people just do not sound like that off stage.
No.
And suddenly they go on stage, and you're like,
it's like they're narrating Ivor the Engine.
Well, sometimes it's not even like, I know people who, they do Valleys accents, like mine, but they roll their R's, and nobody from the Valleys rolls their R's. And it's just this kind of cartoonish idea
There's
of what Welsh people are like, and we're all so fucking chummy, ain't we? Oh, lovely! It's all so lovely. Hey, everyone!
Oh, cutchy boys back.
Cutchy and beautiful boy back. Oh yes.
Yeah, I got that thing. Like as much as I've got some, I do have time for Michael Sheen. If there's anything that's made me want to jump into a thrashing machine, is his speech to the Welsh football team.
Yeah.
He was quoting, Amo Hyd, that Welsh nationalist song,
Yes.
which is a pretty good song. It's very rousing. It sounds great. But, Michael Sheen doesn't speak Welsh.
Yeah.
And in that song, it goes out of its way to say that despite every Dic Sion Dafydd, now Dic Sion Dafydd is like Welsh speakers' pejorative for Welsh people who don't speak English.
Who don't speak English.
Who don't speak English. So me and you, basically.
Oh, really?
And Michael Sheen.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's like despite those people, because Dic Sion Dafydd, I think, in Welsh culture is like a character who went to London because he thought he was better than everybody else.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, right, okay.
And that's what Welsh speakers... I don't think it's a modern thing. You won't catch... I don't think many people in their 20s refer to us as like a Dic Sion Dafydd.
No.
But the vast majority of people in Wales are not middle-class Welsh speakers.
No, they're working class,
They're working-class English
Anglo-Welsh.
speakers. Yeah, Anglo-Welsh. And it's a pity. I wish everyone in Wales spoke Welsh, like everyone in...
also
everyone in Spain speaks Spanish. Why wouldn't that be... That
also
would be
the
perfectly
fact that
normal.
I think the main fact that maybe there's a bit of guilt involved, and I think like it is middle class Welsh people want to kind of consolidate this kind of identity, but I think it's also the guilty fact is that we're not quite willing to admit is how complicit we were in the kind of Anglicisation of Wales, especially South Wales.
Oh yeah,
because the Industrial Revolution, there was a huge influx of migrants at the turn of the century, so that was one of the reasons why not many people speak Welsh in the South Wales language. I don't think, if you think about it, I don't think you can, completely transform how a nation speaks just in the classroom, because those kids might have been not allowed to speak Welsh in the classroom, but they would have gone home and spoken Welsh.
It didn't, exactly, yeah, and that wasn't the case. But I mean, there was a concerted effort by the English-speaking ruling classes to stamp it out. I mean, that is
They probably didn't like it, but I do think it was mainly like English as a language of money.
It was the church. That is true.
To speak, to make money, and also immigrants coming from Ireland and Italy, like my family did. There's Irish in my family. They wouldn't have spoken Welsh coming here, and they would have probably stuck to their own enclaves of you got an Irish quarter that was in they called Newtown, that was in Cardiff.
Yeah.
They would and obviously you got Boottown, which is terribly kind of Caribbean and
East African,
and a lot of other influences.
Our kind of bugbear has been that you always hear people like, "Oh, we want authentic voices and stuff," but nobody wants to hear the authentic voice.
No.
Of the English-speaking people in South Wales.
What I'm saying is, I think it's a travesty that we have not been given a series on BBC Wales.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
We've just had a really serious discussion about the state of Welsh comedy, the Welsh language.
Oh, we'll talk
Welsh
about the Welsh
culture.
stuff. I'll leave the Welsh stuff in.
You're going to leave that in?
Yeah, definitely.
Some of it we're going to have to cut out, though.
What, like what?
I don't know. I feel like someone's watching me, so now I know I've said something that I wouldn't say in front of other people. So we'll have to edit it.
But I think I believe in all the Welsh language stuff, or all the stuff about the only thing you'd get attacked about, I think, is from
Slagging
probably
off
Welsh.
Michael Sheen, who is the Prince of Wales.
The Prince of Wales, the true King of Wales.
Yeah, and it's all sort of, like you say, it's all kind of rugby, football, leaks, daffodils, singing,
Yeah.
and like this weird kind of sentimentality, this idea that, the Welsh are somehow more kind of loving and affectionate than other people, and it's all like, no, they're more interesting than that.
Yes.
Welsh people are
definitely
more interesting than that. They are thin-skinned and hysterical. And they are passionate, but not just in a singing rugby songs passionate. It's like their passion is hatred as well as love.
But the problem is nobody could ever agree on the criteria of what is Welsh.
This is it, exactly.
That's the problem.
Exactly.
So it's very difficult to get everybody on side when, Wales is a very schizophrenic nation. Like North and South, there's huge differences between them. There's also differences between the West and also the border sort of counties.
Oh, absolutely.
Guys, at the end of the day, I just think, why can't we all get on?
Look, one of the founders of Plaid Cymru, Saunders Lewis, was an admirer of Hitler and a devout Catholic who was born in Cheshire. So I think the problem was right there from the start.
Yes.
I think he said that he was pleased that Hitler had removed the influence of international Jewry from world finance.
Yes, that was good. He's
taught in schools.
Mm-hmm.
Welsh schools.
Given the Nobel Prize.
Saunders Lewis. Yeah.
The Nobel Prize.
Saint Saunders Lewis.
Yep.
And he clashed with all the nonconformist Welsh nationalists who were Protestants because he had like this weird adherence to Catholicism.
Yeah, someone said about him, he was a terrible politician, terrible writer, but good Catholic.
Yeah.
Generally what someone said about him.
That's a good quote.
Yeah. Well, I just don't want it to become too kind of protectionist and too like inward looking, and we kind of shut out the rest of the world, which kind of is what happens with like nationalism a little bit in terms of that perspective, and also like just to enshrine ourselves in this kind of victimhood mentality, and to be like, oh, we were just always oppressed. Whereas like not the extent of which
probably
that
the medieval
happened is
era.
not true.
But the medieval era.
But that was a long fucking time ago.
Everyone's like still, like we kind of made our peace with Germany, Austria, and Italy now, haven't we? And collaboration with France and everything.
Yeah, that's all water under the bridge.
Second World War's water under the bridge. But my aunt can't forgive the betrayal of
England.
Yeah, exactly.
So guys, tune in next week where we're going to be looking at like different types of dildo and laughing at chocolates with like rude names in Europe. Well, what I was going to do, I was planning on doing? I was going to cut together all your sneezes throughout the episode.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you should do that. It's funny.
Okay. Be there to pull that one before.
Get him blowed, boy. Get him blowed. Oh, sorry. It's actually dripping onto my fucking clothes. Fucking disgusting.
He suffers, guys.
Really. I thought it was getting better. It actually got worse.